This week On the Road with Mickey, the Disney Treasure Trip Recap.
We're on the road with Mickey, we're gonna have some fun. Regardless of the rain or sun, our trip has just begun. So buckle up, let's go. We're about to start the show. And maybe if you like us, you'll see where else we'll go.
Hey everyone, I'm Mike, and she's Sophie.
And she's Brenda.
Hi, everyone.
And
And look
he's
who's
Grover.
back.
He's like, you're back! Oh my gosh!
We
I'm
miss
putting-
Grogu.
So mad
I'm
at
speaking
me.
for him. I'm speaking for him. He's sad, but he's glad all at the same time. It's conflicting emotions, Sophie.
I
He's
know.
glad
Emotions.
to see everybody, but he's sad because we didn't take him.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, buddy, you didn't pass the health questionnaire.
That's right.
You got to pass that questionnaire. You can't get
Uh-huh.
on board.
Mm-mm.
Nope.
And
but anyway,
we are on the road with Mickey. This is episode 298 for February 9th, 2026. And if you've been following us on YouTube, then you likely saw a whole series of daily videos that we comprised into a really big video for last week on what we did and what we experienced on the Disney Treasure. And um, and so this week we are going to get into our trip recap on, and we have various things that we want to cover, favorite stuff that we did and stuff like that. Plus, we're going to get into answering some of those listener questions that came up during the cruise and talk about some of the things that we really enjoyed. So that is our feature topic this week. But first, we have some really big cheddar from the big cheese, and Sophie is starting us off.
yes, I am. And I'm very, very happy about what I am going to talk about just because it involves my beloved Haunted Mansion. Question. Has anybody ever wanted to get married on the steps of the Haunted Mansion? Any
You.
takers? Actually,
You.
no.
Huh?
No, I want to get married in a church, but it's
Oh,
okay.
nice.
Well,
Nice.
if you do want to get married on the steps of the Haunted Mansion for the first time ever, your wish can now be fulfilled at Disneyland Resort. That's in California. Just making. I'm so sorry. Just making sure that everybody is aware of that. That's the one in California. Um, the Haunted Mansion Courtyard is being added as a location where you can complete your wedding vows or have a vow renewal. Sorry.
You want me to take over?
Yes, please.
Okay. You can do so starting in July of this year. It can accommodate up to 25 guests. You can also exchange your vows at the Magnolia Park Terrace, which is just steps away from the Haunted Mansion and has a different view of the mansion. And lastly, if you are interested, you can also get married inside the Haunted Mansion parlor on the Disney Destiny starting in May of this year.
Wow.
I just
Yeah,
think that's really cool.
That is fabulous.
it is amazing. Sorry about that.
We
That's
just
okay.
barely missed it. We could have done a vow renewal while we were on the ship. Well, no, we're not on that ship, but it's okay.
Yeah,
We will be
It's
next
okay.
time, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
You
maybe.
never know. We got our placeholders.
Yep.
Well, I have a special story also, and this involves a special man with a special birthday. Herb, I'm going to say Maniloveg, who was recognized with a special flag retreat ceremony at the Magic Kingdom Park on January 25th. He's a veteran of World War II, where he fought at the Battle of the Bulge, is a Purple Heart recipient, and he was celebrating his 101st birthday. Happy birthday, Herb!
Wow.
Exactly. Happy birthday and thank you for your
Yes,
service.
indeed.
Gosh. And you know what? 101 is a very great age, and
Yes,
what really speaks to me is that he wanted to spend it with his family at the Magic Kingdom.
of course.
How cool is that?
That
That
is the
is
best way to
amazing.
spend your birthday.
Yeah.
Speaking of birthdays, there's another special birthday for someone that's not 101.
No, he's
No,
not.
nowhere close to 101.
I got 43 years to go.
But we're celebrating today while we're taping on February 6th, and our birthday boy is.
My daddy.
Yes, happy birthday, Mike.
Thank
Yep, I
you.
suppose we should go ahead and do it.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday
Birthday
to
to
you.
you.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday to
to
you.
you. Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
dear
dear
daddy.
Mike.
Happy
Happy birthday
birthday to
to
you.
you. And many, many, many more.
That's the thing
Yay.
about singing in tandem over a video call.
It
It
doesn't work.
never syncs up.
No,
It's
so
awesome
sorry.
though. Loved
The
it.
sentiment was right on, though.
It
Good.
was so cool. Thank you guys. You know what it reminds me whenever you sing as a team online like that, what it reminds me of is when Professor Dumbledore said, "Let's
Oh,
sing the Hogwarts anthem and pick whatever tune or however you want, whatever beat you want." And so
I
everyone is
remember.
singing. You remember?
Oh
And
my
and the
gosh.
Weasley twins were singing it to a funeral dirge or something like that.
That is, oh my gosh. As soon as you said Dumbledore, that's what I thought of. And I'm like, oh no.
So I just think it's awesome because you got a whole bunch of individual performances. So thank you, ladies.
You're welcome.
Well, you're
Well,
welcome.
finishing our cheddar, we want to send special congratulations to Josh Tomorrow, who was named the next chief executive officer of the Walt Disney Company. He
Yay.
will be taking over the reins for with the upcoming annual meeting on March 18th, where he will succeed Bob Iger, who is going to stay on as an advisory capacity until the end of the year. In addition to this news, congratulations are also in order for Dana Walden, who has been named the president and chief creative officer of the Walt Disney Company, and she will start at the same time, March 18th. So I'm really excited by this
Me
because
too.
I feel like, um, of course, I don't know either one of them, okay, but I think who they are is evidence in their body of work. And so I remember during COVID when they had to do the layoffs, I remember distinctly seeing an article how Josh Damara went down to meet with the people that were unfortunately losing their jobs and to talk with them and to make sure that they knew that they were seen, you know. And to me that speaks to who people are. So,
You know what
so
else I like about him?
What?
He spends a lot of time just walking around the park. You know, that
mhm.
reminds me of?
Walt,
Exactly.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I kind of feel like um, these two people, Josh and Dana, kind of feel like maybe a return of Walt and
That
Roy
would be wonderful.
and how they will work together for years. And I'm just super excited about it. So time,
Wish
of
them the
course,
very,
will
very
tell.
best.
Yeah. So anyway, um, congratulations. I'm
Yeah,
really excited to see
Yes.
where this goes in the future. So,
for sure. Yes.
all right. Well, that is our cheddar from the big cheese. Just a reminder, you can connect with us on our Facebook page, On the Road with Mickey. Our Facebook group is the On the Road with Mickey group. And remember, every question of the week is posted in the Facebook group for you to respond and talk to us. Our YouTube channel is On the Road with Mickey, and that's where you can see all of our videos. And hello, YouTubers. Thank you for following and subscribing and liking and ringing the bell and leaving us comments. We love all the interaction. Our Instagram is also On the Road with Mickey. Our email address is info@ontheroadwithmickey.com, and the website is ontheroadwithmickey.com as well. So that's how you can connect with us, and we love the feedback. So speaking of feedback, we had a question about the Disney treasure, and the question was, what do you want us to explore and share about the Disney treasure? So we have a few answers, and I thought maybe you ladies would alternate reading those 5 answers. And
I
then,
think that's a good idea.
as we get into our discussions, we can incorporate some of that feedback into the things we experienced also.
Great.
Yeah.
So, all right. So who's going first?
I'll go first. So the question, as we already said, was what do you want us to explore and share about the Disney treasure? My Aunt Sheila said all of the yummy treats and goodies, and boy, oh boy, did we do that.
Yes. And Cindy said Moana stage show.
Mm-hmm. Amanda said the adult activities. We explored that too.
And Robin said the Haunted Mansion lounge, of course.
And then Paula said character interactions.
Yeah. So I think that's a good list, and
Yeah.
and I'm glad that we have those to talk about. So
I am too.
now let's get into the feature topic. We have our trip recap of the Disney treasure. We were on the 7-night. We talked about it ad nauseum probably before the cruise, but we were on the trip from January 17th to 24th of 2026. It was a 7-night Eastern Caribbean cruise, leaving from Port Canaveral. We had 3 days at sea. We had stops at Tortola, which is British Virgin Islands, and St. Thomas, which is U.S. Virgin Islands, and also at Castaway Cay, which is part of the Bahamas. So we had 3 different port experiences, 3 different port stops, and we have some questions to ponder. So we're going to go around as a round robin, and we're each going to take the lead on a specific answer, and we're just going to go around. And so I am going to ask the questions. So the first question is, what was your favorite dining experience? And by that, I mean the location.
The location, not the food.
Yes, because I talk about food later on too.
Okay, good.
But we don't talk about
Because-
Bruno.
No,
Speak for
but we
yourself.
did see Bruno though. Just saying.
We did.
Ryan.
Oh yeah, we did.
We did.
My favorite dining experience in terms of the restaurant itself, I really, really liked 1923. I did. I just thought it was so classy. It was quieter than the other 2 dining rooms, and like we got that seat right next to the porthole window so we could watch the waters as we were eating, and we had Luca themed like artifacts and whatnot that were decorating the space where we were seated, because 1923 is all about Walt and Roy and their work with Disney animation, and I just thought it was so beautiful and elegant and intimate, if you will.
Good answer.
Aunt Brenda, what about you?
Well, as a Marvel fanatic, I have to say World of Marvel. I mean, watching all the clips from the Marvel movies and the Avenger movies, which I love so much, I just really enjoy that. and I know it's a more kind of not busier, but more active kind of dining experience. But I like seeing those clips from movies that bring back,
Mhm.
things that I remember from the movies and all, Iron Man and all that. So I
Yeah.
Yeah.
love the worlds of Marvel. So I love them all, but that was my favorite.
W- Yeah, and that's really cool. I liked the interactive stuff, and kind of Worlds of Marvel kind of reminds me of Animator's Palette in a way.
Really?
In a way, because you have that interaction with the videos and so forth. So to
Yeah.
me that kind of lends itself a little bit. And I liked the little thing that was on our table that we had to
Yeah.
push the buttons.
Give it power.
Yeah. um and it's funny you should say World of Marvel, because that means the one I most liked is the one that's left, and that is Plaza de Coco.
That's right. I
Oh,
love it.
good. And I think that
And
just speaks to how great they all were.
Yes.
yeah, and that's part of it. It's like splitting hairs here. You got
Hmm.
one, and one. Which one do you just happen to like? And what I loved about Plaza de Coco is the theming and the ambiance, and I love the stage show. I think the one drawback, and I think part of that may be because of where our table was. We were much closer to the stage, and so it was really noisy. I think in part because the speakers were right by us. I think maybe if we were further away from the stage, maybe it wouldn't have felt quite as loud. I don't know, but I really really enjoyed the theming and the ambiance and the way the lighting was, and just every little detail about Coco. I mean, it's to the nth degree, you know?
I will
Very
say,
well done.
Daddy, with our table that we had at Plaza de Coco, I think it was probably one of the better tables in the room. Like, it wasn't the closest table to the stage, but something I caught, and I don't think anybody else at the table did. But while I was watching the show on the second night when it was El Dia de Muertos and they were celebrating and all that, there's
Mhm.
this character in the show, and her name is Marisol, and she is a folk dancer. So while Miguel's over here playing the guitar, she's dancing. And I think from the exact angle that I had and I was able to see the stage by, I'm pretty sure I saw her lean behind Miguel's hat and give him a little kiss on the cheek. And I'm just like, of course they would give Miguel a love interest. That is such good writing. And
That's
so,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I
So,
didn't see that, but that's okay. Yeah. So I just really liked the way it looked. And so that was neat. I liked that environment. And I liked all three of them. Just like Brenda and Sophie said, it's like it's splitting hairs. Um so for me, um on this voyage, my favorite experience is Plaza de Coco. So
Awesome.
all right. Well, now we're going to move on to some entertainment. And we're going to talk about the stage shows, okay, in the Walt Disney
okay.
Theater. So, what was your favorite show on board the ship? Brenda, this time you start us off.
Okay, well, my favorite show on board the ship was Moana. I thought it was extremely well done, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Second to Moana, though, and a close second, was the Seas the Adventure show, because there were so many characters in that one, and they all did such a wonderful job, and it was awesome. Those are two for sure. Don't miss those.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
am so glad that is your answer. And I will explain why when it's my turn. Daddy, go ahead.
Okay.
All right. Well, you know, I've been on 2 Disney cruises, and I have seen Beauty and the Beast on both. And I have got to say, Beauty and the Beast is my absolute all-time favorite show on a Disney Cruise Line ship.
I have
It's
a
just,
question. Because
Yeah.
yeah,
there are no programs for these shows and you can't take any pictures, no videos are allowed. I have a question.
Mhm.
uh-huh.
Wasn't the grandmother in Moana the same person that played Mrs. Potts in the Beauty and the Beast show?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Okay, I
Yeah, I
thought
think
it
100%.
so.
was
And
because her voice was awesome.
she was
Yeah.
also the lady who played Abuelita in the first night on Plaza de Coco.
Golly,
I know.
a lot of roles
Yeah.
on it. Wow, on a 7 night. Wow,
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was fabulous. I have to say.
Oh
she
yeah.
was.
They are. And so
They all
Beauty and the
are.
Beast is my favorite, and it's really tough deciding the order, you know? Um
Mhm.
the Broadway stars singing was phenomenal.
Yes,
Seize the Adventure, that was like, to me, that was like, it came out of nowhere. I had no expectation of that being what it even was, and I was
exactly.
floored by it.
Me
You
too.
know, because we saw it at the 2 o'clock show. Brenda or Sophie, Cindy, and I saw it,
Yeah.
and when we were watching it, I'm like, oh my gosh, we have got to get Brenda and Butch to see this with us tonight. So we went and saw it a second time at the 8:30, and I'm like, this is it, and it was
Yeah,
so
yeah.
neat.
Yeah.
So, but what I love about Beauty and the Beast is how they bring a guest from the audience and they make that guest Chip, who comes up on stage when he's turned back into a boy, and they get to be part of the production. And I just think that is so cool. When we were on the Dream in 2024, the we were in our section of seating. It was the family right behind us, in the row right behind us, that their child was selected to be Chip.
Sweet.
I'm like, that is so cool. And we didn't know what that was. And then all of a sudden we're like, hey. And it was
Hey, I
so
know him.
neat. It was so neat. So I love how they do that, and I love how they interact and bring in, someone from the audience to fill in a role. So, but yeah, the other ones I really um I liked Moana, and I liked better watching it. We watched it live at the 3 o'clock showing, and it was a little bit chaotic because
A
of
little crowded.
people around us. But then we watched it on the TV in our stateroom later that night, and I had a better appreciation for it when I
I
was seeing
watched
it in
Beauty
my
and the Beast
stateroom.
in the stateroom too. Yeah, I watched that one from the stateroom, so did the opposite, but
Yeah,
still excellent.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Seize the Adventure is really good with all the songs. So
Yeah.
so anyway, I've talked enough. Sophie, fill us in on your thoughts.
Well, I have to go with Daddy on this one. I think the Beauty and the Beast stage play was the best stage play that was on the ship. And I actually don't think it's as close as the two of you think it was. I think that it's Beauty and the Beast, and then everything else ties for second, just because I can't bear to place any of it further down the
Yeah.
ranking list. Um, I'm very glad that you said Moana, though, Aunt Brenda, because I remember my mom had been so excited to see that performance. And the sad part was that the audience kind of ruined it for all of us, I think. And it wasn't the audience's fault, of course, if a kid does not want to sit through a long production, they're not going to.
Which is
And
why they show it in the room, and parents should
Right. Yeah.
consider.
yeah, yeah. But we want everyone to have a good time. And I understand that it's a little bit hard to do that with a fussy child, so I don't blame the parents at all. I just think that if we had managed to see the Moana show again at 8:30, we would have enjoyed it better the second time because I don't think the theater would have been as packed full as it was. And I imagine a lot of little children would have already been in their rooms getting ready for bed. And I think that would have helped my mom enjoy it a lot better. So, other than that, Moana was great, but I have to go with Daddy. Beauty and the Beast was spectacular. And it did remind me a whole lot of the one that we went to go see at DPAC,
Mm-hmm.
which I think just adds to that charm for
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And it's, it's very much, you can't go all of these. I'll tell you, I've sailed Disney and I've sailed Royal Caribbean. I haven't done the others, but I will tell you, there is a vast difference between a
Exactly.
Disney show and a Royal Caribbean show. And it's, to me, it's not even close. Okay. And that's not just because I'm a Disney, fanatic like I am. It's
Yeah.
because the quality, the the set pieces, I saw how they brought in the set for
Oh,
Moana
yeah.
on Disney
It was
Plus. You can watch the
unbelievable.
making of the treasure, and it's phenomenal how they get it all in.
Yeah.
And these shows are things that you could see them on Broadway and would have no problem seeing it in a place like Broadway, and yet they're on a ship with you, and it's just phenomenal. So
There have
well
been a
done,
lot of
Disney.
cast members who went to Broadway who were discovered at the parks and on the ships.
Hmm. Yeah,
They've been discovered through Disney.
yeah.
They're
So
phenomenal.
they are
Yeah,
phenomenal shows.
they
All
are.
right. Well, next question of our ports of call, which is your favorite?
Ooh, Mike, you go first on this one.
I
Yeah.
do. And you know what? I am going to go with Tortola. Um,
Nice.
I I thought, I didn't realize till we did our land and sea adventure. I didn't realize that Tortola was the name of the island. And that
We
the
thought it was the
capital,
name of the town.
yeah, and the name of the capital of Tortola is Road Town. And we went on a land and sea excursion, Cindy, Sophie, and I, and
Mhm.
we started with the boat part, and we went and saw a lot of different islands and learned more about them, and learned a lot of really neat stuff that I don't think you would normally know unless you were doing a tour like that. And then after that, we went um and we did the bus part, which was like an open air safari Ford F-150 kind of truck with seating
Yeah.
in it that took us around and showed us a lot of different things. And it was really neat because we had engaged teams on both
Mhm.
sides. On the seaside, we had a team that was full of fun and they were full of information and they kept us entertained and kept us knowledgeable. So it was really neat. And then on the land side, we had a tour bus driver who just knew his stuff. They were both natives to the area. And so it was one of those things where you get to learn, you get their experiences of what they've been through and what they've seen and witnessed, and you get to hear that side of it. So it was really neat to get to meet them and get to know them. So I
It
really
was.
enjoyed Tortola, really did.
I am 100% with you there, Daddy. I think Tortola was my favorite port as well. And honestly, the thing about it is okay, I don't even know where to start. I just love Tortola so much. I think I think it was more organized, the excursion that we did on. It was more organized for Tortola than it was for St. Thomas. And that doesn't detract from St. Thomas at all. St.
Mm-mm.
Thomas had its own beautiful Megan's Bay beach. We had a lot of fun there. I enjoyed St. Thomas, but I just enjoyed Tortola even more. I liked that when we got done with the boat part of the tour, the guys on the boat said that they would wait for us until our bus came to collect everyone, and that would be about 30 minutes. They didn't just say, okay, this is where you'll wait for your bus. See you around. Have a nice day. They waited there just to make sure that if something happened, that we would have a way to get back to the ship. And I thought that was very, very kind of them. But thankfully, everything worked out, and we had the bus tour, and it was great. And it delivered us back to the port. And I don't know, I'm rambling here.
That's
It
great.
was cool.
Yeah.
What was your favorite island, though, Daddy, on the sea tour part?
You know, I think I really liked learning about Salt Island.
I think I'm with you there.
So, Salt Island is an island that is called Salt Island because in the middle of the island is a lake. And in that, what happens is that lake dries up during part of the season. And when it dries up, all that's left is salt. And they harvest the salt. And what happened was, in 18, was it 73, Sophie? 63?
67 or
7,
something.
67, there was a British ship that
RMS Rome.
the RMS Rome, thank you,
Mm-hmm.
that put into Salt Island to escape from a hurricane, thinking it would provide protection. And what ended up happening is the hurricane came right on them and they couldn't get out of the harbor in time, and the ship was destroyed. And there were 123 people that lost their lives, and there were 11 survivors. And the 11 survivors survived because the family that was on Salt Island went out into the waters to rescue them. And by doing so, they were able to save those 11 people. And when Queen Victoria heard about it, she gave the family that lived on Salt Island, she gave them ownership rights to the island that continues to this day. And the only tribute that they had to do is they had to pay 100 pounds of salt per year. And they do that to this day. They gather up 100 pounds of salt from their lake and they send it off and they have control of the island. And so I just think that's really cool that they risked themselves to go save those people. And then the queen recognized that and turned around and gave back to them too for doing that.
Yeah.
So to me, that's just like that's just the way the world is supposed to be, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really liked that island, hearing and learning about that. So
I did too. And the thing is that shipwreck is still there. And
mhm.
the tour guide told us that that is the best scuba diving spot in the British Virgin Islands.
Yeah.
So it's still there. You can still swim there.
Yeah. All
But
right,
yes, I
Brenda.
think that's my
Awesome.
favorite island too.
So Brenda, what's your favorite port of call?
Well, I'm glad that you guys talked about both Tortola and St. Thomas, and that's because it's by no accident that I have been to Disney World 5,000 times and ended up selling it as a destination because there's something about me that is calm when I am around familiar surroundings. And so I chose Castaway Key because when I get off that ship, I know exactly where I'm going. I am very familiar, which calms something in me. I don't feel like I'm around a lot of strangers, and I know I'm strange. Don't judge me. But it's
Ever.
it's a relaxing place for me to go. It's almost like going anywhere here where I live, and I feel very comfortable there, and it's very relaxing. And I like
Hmm.
just relaxing on a beautiful beach with clear water, and it just calms my soul. So I love Castaway Key. So that's what I chose.
Well, I love Castaway Key also. And what I loved about Castaway Key was seeing it through Sophie's eyes because I've been to Castaway Key now twice, and both times I ate at I ate at Cookies too, had great food, and I went to Serenity Bay both times, Adult Beach. But Sophie's been once, and she's already done more in her one time at Castaway Key than I did because she went and did her own kayaking excursion. So tell us about that, Sophie.
I did do my own kayaking excursion after we got back from St. Thomas, which St. Thomas was great. Again, Megan's Bay, beautiful,
Hmm.
gorgeous water,
Yeah.
nice and crystal clear. And that
Oh
is
yeah.
very important for a girl like me because I don't like being able to not, I don't like being unable to see my feet beneath me when I'm in the ocean. Because if I can't see my own feet, what else is near me that I don't know about?
I'm
Yeah.
exactly like you.
Yeah. Where's Jaws, right?
Yeah, where's that swordfish that Aunt Brenda found at
He
Megan's
was
Bay
so
that,
cute.
yeah, he was cute to you, but I was worried that I was gonna get stabbed. So I'm like, you know what, Aunt Brenda? You go play with the swordfish. I'm going back to the beach. But anyway, thing about the beach is all we did was we relaxed there, we sat there, we had fun, but it was probably the most boring part of the trip for me because I didn't bring a book to read or anything, so I was just sitting there occasionally wading into the water, but
Yeah.
otherwise sitting on my lounge chair. So when we got to Castaway Key and there were still some things available that I could rent, like a kayak, I'm like, you guys have fun at Serenity Bay. I don't want to sit on a beach for another 4 hours and do nothing. So I went and I got myself a kayak. I rented it for half an hour or so, and I got my kayaking fix, and everything was fun. I liked to kayak. When I was a little girl, I went to a summer camp called Camp Dunley. It was a sleepaway camp, and they had a little stream off of the Neuse River that they had canoes and kayaks for, and that was my favorite thing to do. So you would find me at the breakfast table in the mornings, but after breakfast was finished and we were dismissed, I was down in my kayak paddling up and down that stream until lunchtime came and I had to go eat again.
That's great. Well, at least we gave the people kind of a overview of what to do when you're young and adventurous, what to do when you're maybe almost 40 years older and you just want to chill on a beautiful beach.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
So there's a lot to do everywhere.
There is a lot to do. And you know, if we make it back to Tortola another time, then maybe that's when we look at doing the baths,
Oh, yes, please. I want to go back to
you know?
Tortola and do the
So,
baths at Virgin Gorda, which, Daddy, do you want to tell them what Virgin Gorda means? Or should I?
yes, I can tell that story if you want me to. So, on the sea cruise, on the seas part of our excursion, the narrator was telling us that Virgin Gorda is Spanish for the fat virgin, and he made comment of how Christopher Columbus discovered the island, and when you look at it from the water, it looks like a lady laying on her side, and you can see the curves from and that's how he came up with the name. And the narrator from our seas adventure went on to add that there probably were too many men, not enough women, and they had too much rum, and that's probably how they came up with what
And
they were
too
seeing
much
on the island,
time.
and too much
Too
time.
much time.
so, so needless to say, it was an interesting little lesson there.
Very interesting, been very funny.
All right, so moving on to the next one. This is where it
Okay.
might get really tricky. What was your favorite meal on board the ship? And I was thinking based off of our rotational dining, but I'm going to open it up to any meal anywhere, whether it was rotational, special, breakfast, lunch, whatever. Okay? Sophie, you go first.
That is so hard.
Yeah.
That is like really, really hard. Can I pick specific dishes or do I have
Yeah.
to go with?
Well,
Okay,
no. I think dishes might work. Don't you think, Brenda?
Yeah.
because
Okay.
there's one that comes to mind, but this was actually one of the nights where I took after Uncle Butch and I ordered two things to eat just because I couldn't decide. Um, so it was at 1923, and I had ordered myself the ratatouille, which was absolutely delicious. But I had wanted some protein to go with it because anyone who knows what ratatouille is knows that it's just vegetables. That's all it is. So I was like, I have barely eaten today. I need some protein as well. So I ordered the pork medallions with it, and they didn't come with any sauce or seasoning or anything. So I ate them because I was hungry, but otherwise I didn't enjoy them. But the ratatouille knocked it out of the park. That
Okay.
being said, my favorite dessert was definitely at Plaza de Coco. The first night we were there, I had the coconut tres leches cake with dulce de leche ice cream, and it was so good and so criminally tiny that I asked Fabian and Bronislav if they could bring me another, and that was delicious. So that was my favorite foods on the ship.
All right. Brenda.
I think my favorite meal on the ship was the very first night at Plaza de Coco. I had the filet mignon, and it was the most tender, wonderful, buttery piece of meat I have had in so long. It was so good, and I enjoyed it so much. And then, of course, I did have at Minnie's, I did have them make me a pizza with just cheese, no sauce or anything, and it was delicious. That was a quick service. And then the gelato we had at Jumbo's was a special treat that I enjoyed a lot.
Oh, yeah. Yes, yes, yes. And actually, it was Daisy's, Aunt Brenda.
Oh, that's right. Daisies.
Daisies.
Daisy's Pizza Pies.
Yep.
Oh,
Minnie ran the soft
ah,
serve counter.
that's right. That's right. Thank you. Yes. And Jumbo's had the desserts with oh,
Yeah.
they had so much yummy stuff there. Okay, I digress.
That's all good. Um, so for me, my favorite items, because I'm kind of going off
Like
like
I did.
Sophie did and Brenda,
Yeah.
we picked and choose. Um, on at Plaza de Coco, the second night, the Dias de Muertos. I'm sorry, I'm butchering it. Um, I
El
had
Dia de Muertos.
there you go. Thank you. Um, I had the the samosa appetizer, and it was so good. Oh my gosh. It's like eating a dumpling with vegetables and and potatoes and stuff like that. So it's kind of like oh, so good. I had that. I also had um abuela's um enchiladas, chicken enchiladas as an appetizer as well. And I really like that as well.
Yeah.
And um for me, it's funny because I liked. Hang on, I got a cough. Sorry, I
Bless you.
liked my. I liked the desserts.
Hmm.
Um, I had the Miguel Remember Me Sunday that was really good, and it was cookies and cream, which isn't my favorite ice cream, but the cookie pieces were really big, so it felt like you were eating cookies in your ice cream.
Yeah.
So to me, that was better than like when they're so ground up they could become almost sandy. But that was good. But you know, my last evening, my last meal I had for my dessert was my Mickey Premium ice cream bar, and I was a happy camper. There is just something magical about the Mickey Premium ice cream bar that just works, you know? Um, and then for my main meal, I had many times I had a prime rib that was really good. I liked the lamb shanks. I also liked the lobster tail with the steak that I
Mm-hmm.
got. Um, but I think that prime rib was probably the favorite for me. So, and
Good.
you know, we didn't touch on it, but in the quick service realm, Marceline Market is really great for
Oh
breakfast
yeah.
because they have a lot of places you can get just about any variety of things you want. But I also liked, what was it? The barbecue thing. What was it called, Brenda?
What barbecue thing? The
When
It's in the Festival of Food. I
the
think it was
Festival of
Goofy's?
just
It's
Foods,
Goofy's.
no, it's
Festival of
Mickey's
Foods,
Barbecue.
or
Goofy was the burgers.
I was thinking of the
Oh,
Festival of Foods. That's
oh,
the
Yeah.
gotcha.
overall
Yeah.
thing. That's
Festival
what
of
I was
Foods. Yeah.
thinking of.
Yeah.
Um, and one of the places that first lunch we had Festival of Foods, and I had the kielbasi and everything like that, and it was really good. And they had a lot of different kinds of barbecue type dishes that you could enjoy there.
Yeah.
So that was really good.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know what? I just thought about it. The bread service. The bread
Hmm.
is really good at the dining rooms, but if I'm going to split hairs here, World of Marvel had this one bread that was red, like cherry red, and it didn't taste like anything. I'm not quite sure why Aunt Brenda couldn't eat it because it didn't taste like it had tomatoes in it or anything, but it was so soft and it had a hint of sweetness to it. So I think if I had to choose a favorite bread, that one would be it.
That bread was sun-dried tomato
It could have
bread.
had. Oh, it was
Oh,
sun-dried tomato. Yeah,
It was
that
sun-dried
definitely is
tomatoes.
out for
That's
me.
why. That's why
never
Brenda couldn't
mind.
have it. But
It's a
you're
good
right,
thing you
Sophie.
didn't try it.
You didn't taste. You don't taste the the tomato in it. Um, but for me, I really liked those sourdough rolls. Oh my gosh.
I
And
don't
Butch and
blame
I,
you.
we like a little bread with our butter.
Yeah.
So
Yes. I
poor
like the bread service
Branislav
at
and
Palo too.
Fabian. Yeah,
Those breads at Palo were good.
they were, and
Those
I really liked the
triangular.
breadsticks.
Yeah.
Those were
Yummy.
really good. But
Oh
anyway,
my gosh, I'm getting hungry just thinking about all this
I
food.
know, and it's
We
almost
need to move
lunchtime.
on to the next question.
All right. Well, the next question is, what other activities stood out most to you, Brenda?
One of my favorite activities is getting my wake up call with my pot of coffee in the morning and Butch and I sitting out on the balcony and enjoying our coffee together. That is one of our favorite things about cruising, especially Disney cruising, because we love Disney cruising. But another activity that I particularly loved was playing trivia with all of us as a team. It was great bonding and it was so much fun and I loved it.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, I did too.
It was
I
so
did
much
as
fun.
well. I especially liked it when I won.
Yes, that's always the most fun.
It is.
Yeah, there were really neat things. Um, there was the they tried to do a Hollywood Squares for the villains. That one got off to a little bit of a slow thing
Yeah.
because they had villain technical difficulties, but it
Uh-huh.
was a fun concept. It was at Sarabi Lounge, and so they had the villains up like they were the Hollywood Squares,
Yeah,
and
it was
you
cute.
asked them a question. They were asked a question, they had to answer, and the person in the audience had to concur or disagree with their answer and see who would get the square. So it was tic tac toe, but it was a lot of that was kind of fun. It was a little slow moving because of the technical difficulties, but I also liked the Encanto event that they did with the kids where
Yeah.
they were singing the songs and the kids got to come up on stage and sing and do karaoke, and then they also got to flex their muscles,
Yeah.
and a gentleman came up, a dad came up to flex his muscles. I'm like, Butch, let's go. He's like, no, we got to give him his due, Mike. We got to give him his due. So we didn't go up, but that would have been hysterical
It
if
was
we
so
had.
fun to
I
watch.
think it would have been hysterical, but I don't think. I'm glad you didn't do it because Uncle Butch didn't do it. I think it wouldn't have been as good if one of you had done it and not the other.
Yeah. So those sorts of activities were really cool. And like Brenda said, the trivia events, and I loved I loved the 80s music trivia.
Me too. I love it.
Oh my gosh. That was so cool. But what I really liked was the creative names that Sophie would come up for our trivia teams.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to think. The one that I did for the Haunted Mansion, because I thought I was going into that one alone, but luckily Aunt Brenda and Uncle Butch came to help me out because you saved me on one of those
One
questions. You
question out
did.
of 20.
One question out of 21. But the team that I had come up with for the Haunted Mansion trivia was the coolest little ghoul. Because,
Yeah,
girl, ghoul,
that's
play
yeah.
right.
on words. I tried to do 90s songs trivia. I wasn't very good at it. So in the end, I just wrote circa 2000s.
Which is awesome. And that story, because we were so bad at 90s music trivia, when we saw Walter, who hosted
Yeah.
several of these trivia events. Afterwards, I said we were at the 90s trivia and this was our team name, circa 2000s.
Yeah.
And he thought that was the best thing, and he remembered and mentioned it to Sophie about
Oh,
being in the circa 2000s. I thought that was just hysterical.
I didn't
oh
even think of going
goodness.
to 90s trivia because I don't know a thing about
I
that.
thought I I thought I might be better at it because well, I thought that 90s songs were what played on the radio when I was a little girl because those were the best songs. So naturally they would keep them around. But I didn't recognize a single one, except maybe a couple.
Yeah.
I
And
recognize Celine Dion. That is what counts.
Yeah.
what else stood out, Sophie? The trivia events, the Haunted Mansion
Well,
trivia.
something that I really, really enjoyed doing, especially when I had some downtime and you guys wanted to go do something else or you just wanted to relax in the room, is I would find out where all of these learn to draw events were happening around the ship. And I would go find myself a spot and I would draw characters. I have Nick Wilde, I have Captain Hook, I have Donald, I have Pluto. I didn't get to the learn to draw Minnie Mouse one, but that's okay. I got Ursula. And the thing is, you get to keep the drawings once you draw them. So I have them all stashed in one of the bags.
And they're very
When,
good.
well, thank you. I thought I did rather well with them too.
Very.
But they also had other creative things going on uh, early in the morning, the first morning of the cruise. So we had set sail, we went to bed, and then I woke up bright and early at 7 in the morning, as one does. And my parents were like, Sophie, be quiet. We still want to sleep. And I'm like, okay, I'll get dressed. I'll go explore the ship. You guys come meet me for breakfast. So I was up and down all of the decks, just acquainting myself with the ship, and I come across the Skipper's Society while I'm looking for the Haunted Mansion parlor. And I'm like, okay, here's the Skipper's Society. Where on earth is that parlor? I feel like I've walked deck 3 in a circle 5 times, and the cast member was setting up a coloring pages for anyone who wanted something to do. And she's like, oh, you're looking for the Haunted Mansion parlor? Turn around. I turn
Right
around.
there.
There is the door, and I'm like, probably could have found that if I went a couple more times around. And she's like, well, you know where it is now. It opens at 9. Would you like to color? And I'm like, yes, I would like to color. And so I got myself a coloring page of Stitch. I got some crayons. I got some markers. And I think I did a very good job with that coloring. And I
Yeah.
could probably go find it and have Daddy post pictures on the
Yeah.
Facebook group, maybe. So I
Okay.
just liked that. I like the creative bits of
Yeah.
things. I like being creative, and I like that there was never a time where there wasn't something to be done.
Yeah. And
Yeah, that's
that's
true.
true. You know, Darren was the cruise director, and he said, "We're all about giving everyone choices, and you choose the thing you wish to do that works best for you and your family." And so there is a lot of choices.
Oh, for sure.
All right. Next question. What was your favorite of the lounges? And I'm starting us off. And I think it'll be no surprise that my favorite is my background picture, which is the Haunted Mansion Lounge. Um, that was such a neat environment. It was so cool to be in there, to be able to see it and to see it was like we were sitting in the Haunted Mansion with the show, with the ride going on, and it's like we were stuck but we weren't stuck.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
I'll let Aunt Brenda answer first.
oh, okay.
Oh, I'm totally in agreement. The Haunted Mansion parlor was like, I mean, I've been on all the ships now except for the Destiny, and that is the coolest spot anywhere. It is fabulous. So cool.
All right.
We've been in
Yeah.
there a bunch of times, and depending on where you sit, you get a different perspective of what's
Uh-huh.
happening during the show. And I got to play the tambourine when Madame Leota said, "With your tambourine," and I got to do the tambourine.
Ooh, nice.
Cool.
Plus, we bought our sippers, which come to
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sophie?
I also really like the Haunted Mansion parlor. I think that's just the unanimous answer. But I think
Mm-hmm.
for the sake of the fact that Haunted Mansion knocks everything else out of the ballpark, I almost said the parlor park, and I'm like, that's not right. I'm going to mention a few of the other lounges. The
Yes.
Skipper Society is right there outside the Haunted Mansion parlor, and that is just a very nice place to sit. They have some good drinks there too. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't get anything from the Skipper Society, but I looked through the menu a few times and there were some things that I wanted to get, but I'm just like, I'm about to eat in an hour or so. I really don't need to be getting this when I know I'm going to stuff myself for dinner. Um, but it's nice. It really reminds me of Adventureland. They did such a good job with the theming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the Skipper Society is themed after the Jungle Cruise ride.
It
Very well
is.
themed.
And it's very well done. In fact, on our YouTube videos, you can see one of our days we recorded from the Skipper Society, from one of
In a
the booths
tiny
they
little
had.
corner booth. Yeah.
And it was really neat to be
Those
able to
little
do
round
that.
booths are cool looking, though.
Yeah.
They are so cool. And the chandeliers in them were parrots, like in
Yeah.
the Enchanted Tiki Room.
Uh-huh.
And I just thought that was amazing. We didn't go into the Scat Cat Lounge, but I almost wish we had because it looked amazing and there was a piano in there.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they had a lot of piano shows in there. It was really
Hmm.
cool looking, like black and white, like piano keys decor with bright yellow. It's very bright, nice,
Yeah.
pretty.
Aunt Brenda, what did you think of the Periscope pub? You and Uncle Butch went in there to watch a game.
We did not watch a game in there. Actually, when y'all were in Tortola, we went and toured the ship and took a bunch of pictures of all the areas without a bunch of people
Oh,
in them, which is hard to do, but I usually will use like one of the port days for that.
Mm-hmm.
But the Periscope pub is fabulous looking. It is very, very well themed to 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. In fact, The ceiling is like a glass. If you were under the water in a glass ceiling with, sharks and things swimming above you, it's fab.
Oh,
It's
wow.
fabulous.
Yeah, it
I know
is.
what I know what I need to do the next time we're on the treasure, if we're on the treasure again. I need to go in there because all I did was poke my head in a few times.
Yeah, and that's okay. But yeah, the lounges are really cool the way that they're themed.
Hmm.
Yes.
So it's really neat. And you know what? You can never do everything in one Disney cruise. So there always has to be something to come back and do more, you know? So,
That's right.
all right. Well, next question is, was there anything that surprised you the most about the cruise?
Well, I think it's a good thing that I'm answering first for this one. Um, we have to keep in mind that this was my first cruise ever, so I really had no point of reference going into this. But I think what surprised me most, I had been under the impression that with 3 days at sea, that I would have a lot of free time on my hands. So I brought a couple of books with me so that I could have something to read. If I ran out of things to do, I could go maybe up to the adults only section of the ship and sit down by the pool and read my books. I did not open those books once. I
I've had
only
that
opened them
before.
on the road trip
It's hard to
too.
concentrate. There's
Yeah.
Yeah.
so much activity.
But also on top of that, the adults only section of the ship seemed louder than I thought it would. Like it's not all screaming and a whole bunch of adults fighting and whatnot like you would think would be in an Irish pub. It's definitely not an Irish pub, but there were more people there than I expected. And it seemed like there were more people there on average because the crew told us that there were more adults traveling without children than
Hmm.
normally are on a Disney cruise.
That's right. That's why
Yeah.
every seat was taken in that area when we went up there.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right. Brenda, what about you?
Surprised me most. I, I, I well, I mean, I don't consider it really surprised me most, but I was very impressed with the beauty of the Disney Treasure. It was a beautiful ship. And I also wasn't so surprised, but greatly appreciated the care in my dining. When you're traveling with allergies and the weird food allergies, it's not just like you say, well, I have a gluten allergy or I have a peanut allergy. It's like mine are so weird that they have to like tailor make meals for me. And I've always been very, very taken care of on every Disney ship, but I'm always still surprised and impressed by the care they take. And having Fabian and Bronislav as our staff was just absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful
Yeah.
Hmm.
staff for our dining
Yeah.
rotation.
Yeah.
I adore both of those men. They are such good people.
Yes, I
Hmm.
do too.
Yeah. Um, for me, it is hard. I was surprised. Not nothing really surprises me a whole lot, but I was telling one of my Christian brothers about how God shows up, and God showed up on three separate occasions in the middle of our cruise. He showed up with the young man who had passed away, and his
Oh my
mom and his
goodness.
grandmother were on the cruise, and we got to meet
Yes.
them, and
Yes.
we got to lift them up. So
Yep.
that was
Got a
God
hug.
showing up in the middle of the seas. He showed up when we were on Tortola, and I was struck by how many churches were on this little island, and the predominant Christian denomination on the island in Tortola is Methodist, which we are,
Yeah.
and Then the third thing, Brenda and Butch mentioned it when we got approached when we were at St. Thomas. They opened up their balcony to have their morning coffee on the veranda, and there was a church on St. Thomas that was playing "Go Tell It on the Mountain" through their bells, and they were playing it, and everyone in the whole
It
island
was
was hearing it,
gorgeous.
and everyone on the ship was able to hear it if they were out on their stateroom, out on their veranda. And it's just like
Beautiful.
God's just like, here I am, you know.
Yeah.
I think you should make it clear that the boy who had passed away did not pass away on our cruise. There
No,
was
he did
No.
not.
nothing
No.
like that on our cruise.
No, he had his name was Grayson, and he had passed away in May of previous year from cerebral palsy, and he was a young man in his 20s.
Yeah.
And it's like the what was beautiful about that was that um one of these cruise groups, they had printed a picture of him and put it on a magnet and given it to his mom and his grandmother for them to put on the door. And they had a
Mhm.
cork board of the country where we could put a pin of where we were from, and we
Mhm.
could leave a note on their whiteboard, lifting them up. And so,
I loved it.
yeah,
It was beautiful.
it was, and they were on the same deck that we were.
Mhm.
So
Same
we
side
were
too.
able, yeah, so we were able to see his picture several times during our cruise.
Yeah,
So,
very sweet.
so to me, that's just, it wasn't a surprise. It's just the way God rolls. He just
Yeah.
shows
Yeah,
up, and so that was really cool.
very.
All right, last question.
Hmm.
Lastly, what did you think of the Disney Treasure, and would you recommend it for someone looking to go on a cruise? That might be the easiest answer of all day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I guess I'm first, and
100%.
I would a thousandfold recommend going on the Disney Treasure, and in fact, going on the 7-night Eastern Caribbean sailing on the Disney Treasure. That is a win-win. I would do it a million times more if I could.
Hmm.
Yeah. I'm with Aunt Brenda on that one. I really, really, really want to go back to Tortola. The British Virgin Islands. I it's just so beautiful there. It's
Yeah.
absolutely stunning there. I want to go back there, and I want to go back to the Haunted Mansion parlor. I want to see a movie on the Funnel Vision. I want to ride the Aquamas again. There are so many things that I want to do, and I think this is the first vacation I've had in a while where on the day that we had to get off the ship, I'm like, I don't want to get off this ship. It had nothing to do with the weather, which, by the way, ever since I've come home, something about the weather has been messing with me. I think
Hmm.
I've already gotten used to Caribbean temperatures, but I didn't want to get off the ship. I was constantly telling my mom, okay, so maybe we can ask Fabian and Branislav if they have dishwashing positions open.
Oh, no. I don't want to work on a
Working
cruise
on a
ship.
cruise ship would not be fun for
I
me.
want to I want to experience the cruise ship, but not the work.
Yeah.
I know, but if it means I could stay,
Yeah. Well, as for me, I would absolutely recommend it. I loved being able to take Cindy and Sophie and to be able to see Sophie experience her first cruise. And it just wets your whistle for more and more.
That's
That's
right.
why I answered the way I did when the question was, would you rather have park passes or cruise? And I'm like, give me the
and,
cruising.
and never be able to choose the other option ever again.
Yeah.
That was hard though.
I see what you mean, Daddy. I see
Yeah.
what you
Yeah.
mean now.
Yeah. It's
So I'm changing my answer. I've been converted to the dark side.
Oh no,
no.
it's not dark, it's the light side.
Yes. It's the neither. It's just a
Okay, I've been
different
converted to the
reality.
blue side, okay? Green,
There you
blue.
go.
Yes.
Ocean is blue.
All right. So, absolutely would recommend it. Um, and if anyone wants to have an opportunity to discuss what a cruise might look like for you and your family, please feel free to reach out to Brenda or myself. Brenda is Brenda at pixievacations.com. That's her email address. Mine is Mike at pixievacations.com. And we would love to um, help you plan that cruise, and let's just look and see what the pricing looks like. So that's what I would totally recommend. Reach out to us and let us know how we can help you plan that magical journey for you and your family. All right, Sophie, it is time for your question of the week.
And for once, I actually don't have a question to ask. I gotta think about one really, really quick. Ooh, here's an idea. What is your number one international bucket list destination? Doesn't have to be a Disney park. It could be anywhere in the world. What is your number one international place that you want to go?
Okay, I like that. I
And
like
I
that.
don't have an answer for that either because there are a lot of places I want to go.
Yeah. I had to give it some thought. So,
I think
so
my gut is telling me, though, I want to go see the Vatican City.
ooh, yeah, yeah. I I would love to do that. And see Saint David or Saint Peter's Basilica.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that would be really neat. I would also like to go to Israel
Ooh,
and
yes.
to see and walk where Jesus walked. And
Jerusalem, Bethlehem.
hmm
Yeah,
yeah, Capernaum and
yeah,
on and on and on. So, so yeah, those would be really cool. But I also want to go to do the river cruise at Christmas, like Mommy wants to do, and to be able to experience those places at Christmas time on the
yeah.
Rhine River. So there's a lot of places, and it's hard to come up with a number one. So. All right. Well, let's continue on. We're waiting for Brenda to get back in. But I do want to move on. So, Sophie, let's get into this day in Disney history. So,
Okay,
why don't you take it away?
I shall indeed. The day for Disney history, and I know we already established it's Daddy's birthday today. Happy birthday again.
Thank you,
Um,
honey.
it's Daddy's birthday on the day that we're recording, which is February 6th. But as always, the Disney history of the day is for the day that the episode releases, which for us will be February 9th. So, for the day in Disney history, February 9th, the year is 1914, and a Disney legend, animator, and engineer Bill Justice is born in Dayton, Ohio. Growing up in Indianapolis, Indiana, he moved to California in 1935. He first joined Disney in July of 1937 as an animator and worked on such features as Saludos Amigos, Victory Through Air Power, The Three Caballeros, Make Mine Music, and Peter Pan. Justice later went on to work as a programmer starting in 1965 for audio animatronic figures for such Disneyland attractions as Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, Mission to Mars, Pirates of the Caribbean, and the Haunted Mansion. He also designed the floats and costumes for one of the first Disneyland Christmas parades. Justice retired in February of 1979 and chronicled his 42 years at Disney in the book Justice for Disney in which he told the story of a very lucky fellow from Indiana who was able to find a job he loved. And
Nice.
there is a quote from him here. One of the most enjoyable Disneyland projects was Pirates of the Caribbean. Manipulating the figures in each vignette was a multiple challenge.
Yeah. Great history, Sophie.
Very good.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. I am making a decision.
Yeah?
I have one last Stump the Soph from our Pixar book.
Oh.
Next week, we're going to start looking at the Disney windows to try and figure out what a saying might be and who it might be.
Oh,
boy.
I'm going to
So-
need to find that book I gave you and read it quickly.
It's right by the desk. So peruse it a little bit.
Wow.
Is it? Because I only see 2 of the other ones.
So anyway, these characters, I'm sorry, it's plural. I'm giving you an easy one, I think. These
Okay.
characters are brothers.
Brothers.
Mm-hmm. And they sponsor someone.
It's the Cars from the Cars movie that are Lightning McQueen sponsors when he's with Rusty's, the medicated bumper ointment, but I don't remember their names.
Oh, you're really close because you are
Oh.
correct.
Go through the alphabet in your mind.
Think of the name, and that will tell you one of the characters almost completely from the beginning of the name, you know? It's
See, the only name I can think of from that part of the movie is Fred, but he's not one of the brothers.
no.
So I'm thinking F names like Frank or Phil or something, but I don't think those are right. Those aren't right.
No. Well, I'm going to give you credit anyway, because I am a generous person.
Thank you, Daddy.
Their names are Rusty.
Oh,
Get it? Rusty's.
yeah.
Rusty. And does that trigger the other brother's name?
Dusty?
Rusty and Dusty.
Yay!
Because they are very dirty.
They are.
Good.
So Rusty is a 1963 Dodge Dart, and he is literally falling apart because of rust.
Poor thing.
Dusty is a 1967 Dodge Van. He enjoys poking fun at Lightning, especially his car sticker headlights. And he
Very
says in the
good.
movie, we might even clear enough to buy you some headlights.
Very good,
All
so
right. Good job, Sophie.
Thank you.
All right, Brenda, close it out for us. Give us a little bit of Walt.
a little bit of Walt. There is no magic in magic. It's all in the details.
That's right. And
It's
let me
definitely
tell you,
the details.
the Disney treasure hits it out of the park with the details.
For sure.
It does.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely hits it out of the park. Great quote, Walt. Thank you, Brenda, for sharing it with us. And thank you, Walt, for saying it. And that, my friends, wraps us up. It's been a little while, so I'm excited that we're back in the flow of things. And next week, we're bringing back to our topic of saving the best for last. And we're going to look at the last park you attend on your trip and the last ride you want to enjoy from that park. Okay? So, put on your thinking caps, ladies. And
Comes right to mind. Just right to mind.
like that. Well, until next week, we hope you all have a great week. We hope that you are getting off to a really good start for 2026. And thank you so much to everyone that has wished me a happy birthday already and is continuing to do so, because my Facebook is just blowing up.
There you go.
But thank you to everyone for that. But also, we hope you're having a great week. We hope we brought a smile to your face. If you have a smile on your face, share it with someone. Share your smile. And if you see someone having a rough time, maybe you smiling at them will make them have a little bit better week. So you never know who you might impact and what change you might make in their lives. So until next week, I'm Mike. She's Sophie. That's Brenda. And he's Grogu, who is so excited to see us all back. And he says, we will see you on the road. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
There we go.